Okay. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar. If you don't know me, my name's Lily Williams and I'm the Partnerships Manager at BGL. BGL delivers multi-award-winning platforms for corporate compliance, self-managed superannuation funds, investment management, identity verification, and AI-powered paper-to-data software solutions to more than 12,500 firms worldwide. We connect with over 400 data feeds and ecosystem partners to provide a seamless and connected experience. And speaking of our ecosystem, today I'm joined by Ryan Clark. He's the head of customer success at Swyftx. Swyftx is founded in Brisbane in 2018, and they've grown into Australia and New Zealand's most trusted digital asset exchange, now supporting over 1.2 million users. They're recognized as the most loved platform in the 2026 Finder Customer Satisfaction Awards, and they've set the industry standard by becoming the first local exchange to achieve the ISO 27001 certification for information security. We have a lot of you on the call today. So before we get started into our presentation, I will go through just some general housekeeping. The session is recorded. So if you do miss anything or you need to jump off early, you will receive a link so you can watch this at a later date. The recording will be emailed to all of the registrations. The recording is also put on to our YouTube channel. So during the session, we'll have the Q&A function available to you. You'll see that in the toolbar. And this is where you can ask some questions along the way. And at the end of the session, we will answer your questions for you. Ryan, I will hand it over to you to kick things off.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Lily. And thanks everyone for joining and taking a bit of time out of your day to learn a bit about crypto and also this, awesome integration that's been done with BGL and Swyftx, which, look, I will say, like if you're a customer of Swyftx, an accountant or advisor that have got clients using Swyftx, like it really is a game changer. Certainly going to make your life a lot easier. So, yeah, a bit of background about myself. So, head of customer success here at Swyftx. I look after our customer service teams. I'll dive into that a little bit later on in the webinar. But look, been with Swyftx for a bit over 4 years. Been awesome to be part of the growth and success of Swyftx. I mean, Lily kind of touched on it before, but Swyftx really is a big Brizzy success story. So super proud of the team and everything we've achieved. And yeah, look, I've personally been investing in crypto since about 2017. So, I was, especially in my network, I guess, when I first started, one of the only crypto nerds getting involved in the space. I think everyone else was kind of looking at me like I was investing in a Tupperware party scam or something. Not really too sure, but look, certainly has paid off and, pays to, I guess, get involved and learn these new pieces. So, look, quick agenda of what we'll go through today. I'm sure everyone on here has at least heard of Swyftx, but I'll provide a bit more background as well to what we do for maybe those that aren't as familiar. We'll then dive into a little bit of data around what we're seeing in the crypto space. We'll touch on self-managed super funds, in particular there too. And look, my real key takeaway for everyone on this webinar today is, if you say haven't got too involved with crypto yet, you're still unsure what it is, why it exists, why it's an asset class. I'd really urge you just, spend the time, do your own research, speak to the right people. You can chat to us, whatever it might be, and just understand it because, it's continuing to grow. I'll show some stats later, which we'll talk about the adoption, but, yeah, look, it's certainly not going anywhere. So, definitely, spend that time and get familiar with it. I'll post that. I'll then pass on to Chris, who's our product manager. He's the really brains and man of the hour who's been working with BGL to create this awesome integration. So he'll do a bit of a showcase so you can actually understand how do you actually use this new integration to your advantage. And then we'll have a bit of time for Q&A at the end. Quick disclaimer there. So look, the information provided in the webinar, obviously for educational purposes only, does not constitute financial, investment, tax, or SMSF advice. Past performance is obviously not an indicator of future performance. Crypto is a highly volatile asset. So certainly make sure you invest at your own risk, speak to the right people, and like I said, do your own research before looking to invest. So like I said, I mean, I'm sure everyone or majority of people have heard of Swyftx, whether that's across the Super Rugby, the State of Origin, and NRL as of late, especially on Wednesday night, we were posted around the field quite a bit at the Origin game. Brisbane Lions as well with the AFL. So certainly apologies to any supporters out there outside of the Lions. It's definitely been good for us the last couple of years. Maybe not they're not doing as well this year, but certainly been pretty good. So look, we're a cryptocurrency exchange, right? And what that means is, I mean, we currently allow over 1.5 million Aussies and Kiwis to buy and sell cryptocurrency. We've got over 430 assets, so plenty of different cryptocurrencies to choose from. And look, I guess a couple of reasons to mention why so many people use us. First really being the security and trust of our platform. So Lily touched on it before. We're born and bred based here in Brisbane, out of Milton. So despite us now being a global business and having offices all around the world, where head office will always remain here in Brizzy, which is certainly handy for me. Look, we do really a lot to make sure that our customer funds are safe, and that goes from on the back end, all the processes and systems we've got in place, to the culture, as a business that we have around security. Like, I can hands down say that we have such a strong culture, around security, and it's not just one of those, I guess, values that sit up on a wall and just everyone walks by every day. It's actually something that's lived and breathed by everyone in the business. Even through to the physical security pieces that we do. So, to make sure we've got the right people coming in the office, we even do things like a couple of weeks ago, actually, we had a couple of fake tradesmen come into our office. They didn't have a visitor lanyard that they were wearing, and it's slightly awkward conversations with the team, but ultimately they've got to go up to that person and go, "Hey, mate, sorry, just noticed that you're in the office. Can't see a visitor badge. Like, who are you? Why are you here?" And if they're not meant to be here, politely usher them out the door. So yeah, it's but look, I guess it's just these types of things. Simple thing there, but we do a lot around making sure that security is a big focus for us. The another part to mention, as I said, we got Chris on here as product manager. Is any product or feature that we release on Swyftx, we really focus on making it simple and easy to use. So myself, very involved in those conversations, and I obviously put my customer lens on, and I essentially go, yeah, if that's too complicated, nah, we need to go back to the drawing board, and we need to simplify it. We do have a demo mode, so people can actually download. We've got both an app, which you can use on your phone. We've got a website version as well, and we do have a demo mode, so people can jump in there, have a crack, get a bit of a lay of the land of how it all works before actually putting their own money in. Yeah, as I said, just big focus around making sure that everything we do is nice and simple. Another thing just to mention, obviously close home to myself, being head of the service team, is our service and support. So we've got a 24/7 live chat team, and you can get onto the guys within 2 minutes, super quick. They'll sort out your issue. And then for all of our VIP accounts, which is our high value trading accounts, and also all of the self-managed super fund accounts, we also give each of those a dedicated account manager, and each of those clients get phone support. So it's quite rare, really, in the crypto space that you actually pick up the phone and have a conversation with someone. Naturally, the team can't give advice on, what to buy, when to buy, or anything like that. We can't give financial advice, but certainly can, if you've got to need help with your account, you give a call. And for example, this BGL integration, if you're a little bit stuck of what to do, those people can get on the phone, have a conversation, or go into live chat, and the team will sort them out. So, and that actually, I guess, all that focus for us on the support this year, landed us that Finder Award for legendary service. So yeah, super proud of the team. Definitely a lot of care and passion for our customers, and yeah, it's showing there through the results. So worth mentioning, we obviously focus on building products to suit our customers, and one of those in particular to make things easy is recurring orders. We've got a way where essentially you can jump on the app. You can say, for example, I want to buy Bitcoin out of my pay every week or every fortnight. You can automatically set that up, and it'll just purchase that for you, each week or each fortnight, whatever you want to set. So makes things quite easy. On the flip side, we're really focused on making sure that if you are an accountant, advisor, or working professional that have got clients using us here at Swyftx, we want to make sure that we're building tools and features to suit you too. Couple of those to mention. So one, if you do have a customer that's using a self-managed super fund with Swyftx, we keep both of those accounts separate. So a customer will have a personal account, and that means that they've got all of their personal, I guess, trading and investments sitting there. And then they can also go to their self-managed super fund account, which is completely separate. And that just means for obviously reporting, tax purposes, etc. Compliance reasons, we just keep everything nice and easy. It's all still under the one login, which makes things simple, but allows them to switch between the two. The other thing that we really focus on doing is these integrations. Hence this one with BGL here today is just making sure that we're doing things to ultimately make your life easier. So that if you've got people using us that you can get what you need nice and quickly. So can you get I guess I can tailor a bit of the content that we got here. Keen to know the room a little bit. Just chuck into the chat down the bottom. Keen to know like what do you do, and also if you got any crypto experience, like who's maybe invested in crypto, whether that's or at least had a crack. I'll wait a couple minutes and we'll see who we've got there. So just post into the into the chat. Okay, so we've got a couple of people. Couple of people mentioning maybe some issues typing. Is that open for everybody, Lily?
It should be. Let me just have a look.
A couple of people saying chat is disabled.
Sorry, everyone.
That's okay. We got a couple. If we go to where you go there, so it looks like having a couple come through. I can see there. So a couple of people investing since early days as well. Nice to see. A couple of questions which we'll touch on later on as well. Okay, well, look, we'll keep on moving. We've obviously got time for Q&A at the end too, but look, I thought it'd be a good idea for maybe those who are a little bit crypto curious and don't know too much about this space. I'll give a little bit of insight to what we're seeing in the crypto landscape and also just in the SMSF space too. First thing really is the adoption of cryptocurrency. So 33% of Aussies now own some form of crypto. The key being there, like that's up year on year. And, despite this year, I'm sure people, probably aware, like crypto obviously been on a bit of a downtrend in 2026 so far, but look, more and more people still, putting crypto into their portfolio. The other piece to mention there as well is majority of Aussies are aware of cryptocurrency and what it is. The key thing I see there, though, is an opportunity. A lot of people do want the advice. They want to be able to go to someone, have a conversation, and say, hey, look, I'm interested in crypto. I don't know what to do, don't know what to buy, don't know when to buy. Can you give me a hand? Now, currently that regulation isn't clear. So, you can't go to, and I'm sure we've got some advisors on board, you can't really go to your advisor and get that help. So I guess we're quite excited and, do see another, market really open up when people can go to, mums and dads who have been, had their financial advisor for 20 years. They can now start to go there and go, hey, look, interested in cryptocurrency. Can you give me a hand? I want to put maybe a portion in there. and get that help. So yeah, it's really going to open up another market, which is quite exciting. And then if we look at, well, on Swyftx, and this data is from Swyftx specifically, like who are the people actually buying crypto right now? Where's the trade volume coming from? As you can see, majority of it millennials and Gen X, but it is a spread. You've got your Gen Zs, you've got your boomers as well. I host events for our VIP customers, all across the country, and hosted one a couple of months ago there in Perth. And we've got people quite young, young business owners, as an example, who I know a couple of guys. They've got a window cleaning business, and they're buying Bitcoin each fortnight, from their profits and holding it in their treasury. So you've got that side. Then you've got the other side where we've got customers 70 plus, successful people in business, doctors, surgeons, made their wealth, but also smart people and want to make sure that they're involved in crypto. So they've done their own research, learned what it is, and they've been involved and really good customers of ours. So yeah, look, as I said, it's obviously millennials and Gen X, I guess is where we're seeing still the majority of the volume, but it is a spread, across the board. If we talk about self-hosted super funds particularly, and I'm sure we've got a lot of accounts on board, so I reckon most people know this stat, but quite astounding to me. If we look at back end of last year, I mean, close on 15,000 self-managed super funds established, that last quarter. Then we look at the age as well. I mean, a lot of those people, under the age of 50. So people are wanting to take control and, of their own super, and, obviously doing that through a self-managed super fund. I mean, we're seeing huge uptakes of people taking out SMSFs, diversifying into crypto. Obviously, you got to do your own research and work out if it's the right fit for you. But I guess the key call out there is if you do want to get exposure to spot cryptocurrency where you hold the underlying asset, the only way to do that is through a self-managed super fund. And so we are seeing a lot of people come through and like I said, set that up with us there. If we then talk about, I guess, how much I did see the email that went out a couple of days ago, which I think it said there was 1 billion of assets currently held in Australian SMSFs that is crypto. It's actually triple that. So 3 billion of cryptocurrency is now held in Aussie SMSFs. And to my point before there, like majority of people, you're 80% of people under 40 saying, hey, I would consider having this in myself in a super fund. But again, a lot of those people just like, I don't know how, I don't know what to buy. So again, quite excited for that opportunity when it does open up, where you can go to your advisor and go, hey, look, quite keen on cryptocurrency. Can you give me a hand and to get the advice that they need, which obviously at the moment, we can't we can't help people. So yeah, definitely on the rise. A lot of people think cryptocurrency is just Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum. I mentioned before, I think 95% of Aussies know at least one crypto. I think if I'm at a family gathering, majority of people say Bitcoin, but outside of that, not too else. So just to talk a little bit about, well, where's the growth in this industry as well, and what else, I guess is crypto and blockchain outside of just Bitcoin. One of them I'm quite excited about is the tokenization of real world assets. Now, to put that simply and what that means, there's going to be a time and a place, hopefully within Swyftx, where you can log into the Swyftx app. You can go, you know what, I see a property down the road that I'm not going to buy the whole property, but I want to buy 1/10 of that property. You'll then be able to go on the Swyftx app. It'll be tokenized. It'll be on the blockchain, and you can go, cool, I'm going to buy 1/10 of that property, and then you own that in your Swyftx wallet. That then allows you to do things like, you can trade that as an asset. There's potential for you to be earning, the rental income back into your wallet as well. Range of things with tokenization. So look, certainly not there yet, but where I guess part of where the growth is, for this space, and something I'm quite excited about. The other, I guess, growth area to mention is the institutional adoption. Bit of a buzzword, and I'm sure people hear this all the time. Institutional adoption. Again, it's one of those things. But look, I can hands down say it certainly is a thing. We see here more and more. Range of different businesses either A, buying cryptocurrency from us to put in their treasury, hold on the balance sheet, or B, use crypto within their business for, a range of different reasons. Like, to name a few recently, we've had quite a few charities that have come to us and gone, look, we'd love to accept, donations in the form of crypto. We believe there's a market out there. And, we even know at Swyftx, I've had customers hit us up saying, does that exist? So, we've then gone and helped these, these charities, set up their accounts and the processes they need so they can now accept crypto donations. So, yeah, range of things happening. Like I said, people hold, companies holding crypto on their balance sheet to, companies using crypto for a range of different reasons. So, yeah, like I said, it's more than, I guess what we say is, than just Bitcoin. So to the crux of what we want to talk about today, and Chris is going to jump on shortly and show this BGL integration, but I'm quite excited. Look, me personally, and I know there's a few accounts on here, so I don't want to get it offside, but I know myself, tax time, it's definitely a gripe for me. I know when I have to go to my accountant, give all my information that I need, finding all the paperwork, it's a nightmare, right? So I guess what I'm excited about with this integration is we've made it a lot. If you are a Swyftx customer, we've made life a lot easier for you at tax time, where you can just, pass the information automatically that you need to your accountant through this BGL piece. And yeah, it's a game changer. So to kind of talk through that a little bit deeper, like I said, if basically what's going to happen if you're a customer of ours right now, or a potential customer, and you can basically go to your accountant and say, hey, do you use the BGL software? If they do, you can basically connect the Swyftx platform to the BGL system. Chris will walk through that shortly, and all of your information that you require for tax time will be sent through. So all of your transactions, your buys, your sells, your withdrawals, everything like that will automatically be fed through. So instead of you, I guess, historically having to come in and download a CSV file and manually email through transactions, you can just automatically send that. And look, worth noting, you're not giving your accountant access to your Swyftx account. Very important. It's just a read-only version of your information, so they can just see your buys and sells. On the flip side, if you are an accountant, game changer really. Like, ultimately you can go to your client and say, hey, do you use Swyftx? Yes. Just help them connect that integration between Swyftx and BGL, and again, automatically everything will be fed through for you that you need. The last one, if you're an advisor, right now you really have no way, I guess, unless you've got the password of your client's Swyftx account, which our security team would certainly be on. There's no way for you to actually see the portfolio, your crypto portfolio of your client. Now through this BGL integration, you can log on, you can see that information in real time, automatically fed through. So you've got all of their assets, what they're buying, what they're selling, so that as that regulation in particular starts to come in, you can help your clients there. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to throw over to Chris, who, like I said, is the man of the hour, who's been working hard along with obviously the BGL team there to get this integration up and running. So Chris, I'll pass over to you. If you can do a showcase, that'd be great.
Thanks, Ryan. If you want to just flick to the next slide. Awesome. So I'm going to talk quickly about getting started. So if you're the accountant or the advisor, I guess the first thing you need to do is identify which of your customers or clients are using Swyftx. In most cases, you're going to already know this. And then if you're a crypto holder and you use Swyftx, then you need to confirm whether your accountant or your advisor uses BGL. And then this next slide that I'm going to run through is going to be relevant for you. We're going to show you how you can generate the key that you need to generate to connect BGL with Swyftx. So we just hit the next slide there, Ryan. Thanks, mate. So what do you do? How do you create this key? So you get your client to sign in to Swyftx using their existing credentials. And then they just navigate up to the top right icon here and then go down to account settings. Under account settings, there's API keys, and the client will need to create an API key. It's important they create the API key with advisor access here as well. That's the only one that will work. They'll need to put their account password in for security reasons. And then as that key generates here, you'll see it appear. So this is the key here. the key here that will need to be shared with the accountant or the advisor, and then they'll pop that into BGL. If the client needs to revoke that key for any reason and cut off the data share between BGL and Swyftx, they can do that in there as well, which was shown just at the end there, revoking that key. So once the advisor or the accountant has that key, they then pop that into BGL, which will then confirm that sync, and it will start pulling data across. So I'll hand over to Lily now to talk about getting started, but on the BGL side.
Thanks, Chris. So once you've got that API key, you'll head over to your Simple Fund 360 software or your BGL software. And from the main toolbar, you'll go into the Connect tab and head to Feed Management. So if you're a BGL client, I'm going to assume that you're very familiar with the feed management screen, because this is where you would have set up all your other apps and platforms. So you'll select the entity, the feed provider, which is obviously Swyftx, the API key that you've generated, and bank account. So this feed enables automatic import of cryptocurrency transactions, as well as daily balances in your BGL software. We do have a step-by-step guide on how to set this up in our Knowledge Center that you will be familiar with. And of course, we have our support team that can guide you along if you do need some hands-on assistance. The Swyftx feed, it's free of charge. So it's actually included in your base subscription of your software as part of our supported wraps and platforms.
Perfect. Thanks, Lily. And yeah, just on the flip side of that as well, like if you are a Swyftx customer or an accountant of ours, etc., similar deal. We reach out to our support team. We'll give you a hand if you get stuck. But to kind of my point before, it should be pretty easy, pretty straightforward. I've gone through it a few times, and yeah, as I said, I always put my customer lens on and try to make sure it's simple. And yeah, it's quite easy to do. So, like I said, I mean, really, whether you're a customer or accountant, you are an advisor, you've got clients that are using Swyftx, a couple of key things it's going to do for you. Like, obviously, it's game changer in terms that, now, no errors, you're not, in uploading CSV files and having to manually sift through all different transactions. It's automatically brought in each day, so it's giving that real-time info. And if you've got 1,000 clients on your book, right? Like, you don't want to be sitting there and emailing each person saying, "Hey, can you send through the Swyftx transaction report? Go download, blah, blah, blah." Like, just connect to the BGL software, get it automatically brought through. Whether you're an accountant, whether you're a customer, makes life much easier come tax time, which I certainly know I will be doing this tax year because, tax, like I said, is one of those things that I always put to the back burner, and got to make sure I get it done. So, look, like I said, if you are, just to mention here, like if you are, whether you're like, we've got plenty of accountants, advisors that we're partnered with. So you can scan this QR code and book in and have a chat with one of our team, and just about how we might be able to help you. So do use that QR code there. And similarly, if you're a customer, you want to learn more about that BGL integration or anything on Swyftx, or you're a potential customer that's maybe want to learn a bit more about crypto, do go and scan that QR code. I'll bring it over to the next slide as well, and you can book in with our team there.